Not everything is what it seems when it comes to big business. What are some of the strange lies that companies and their executives have been caught in? Let's find out. Starting with number 5, biodegradable plastics. Biodegradable plastic, touted as a solution to the global plastic pollution crisis, is nothing more than just empty words. This so-called eco-friendly alternative is being promoted by companies as a way to address the problem of oil-based plastics that never truly disappear. However, the reality is far from the marketing hype. Coca-Cola's plant bottle, for instance, claims to be made from 30% plant-based materials, the remaining 70% being traditional oil-based plastic. While this may sound like progress, it falls very short of solving the underlying issue. The truth is that bioplastics, including those used in plant bottle, are neither cheap nor effective enough to compete with single-use plastics. The real solution to the plastic waste problem lies not in developing better bioplastics, but in prioritizing recycling and reusing plastic on a much larger scale. A study by Pew Charitable Trusts and Systemic called Breaking the Plastic Wave reveals that the plastic crisis is escalating, with an estimated 11 million metric tons of plastic finding their way into our oceans each year. The study emphasizes the need for a $600 billion overhaul of the system to reduce plastic waste by 80% over the next 2 decades. It suggests measures such as eliminating plastic packaging wherever possible, designing products for effective recycling, increasing mechanical recycling, and scaling up collection efforts, particularly in developing countries where plastic pollution is most severe. Bioplastics offer only limited solutions. While they may break down in industrial composting facilities, the reality is that there aren't enough of them, especially in developing nations. If bioplastics end up in landfills, they last for centuries and release methane, a potent greenhouse gas. In the end, they pose similar threats to the environment as traditional plastics. Furthermore, the production of bioplastics comes with its own set of environmental problems. The sugars used to make bioplastics often come from crops sprayed with herbicides and pesticides. These crops compete for land that could be used to feed a growing global population. Just like the failed promises of biofuels, using bioplastics will require vast amounts of agricultural land. The truth is that biodegradable plastic is a misleading and inadequate solution to the problem. It's a marketing ploy used by companies to create the illusion of environmental responsibility while continuing to profit from plastics. If we're actually serious about tackling plastic waste, we must focus on reducing our plastic usage, improving recycling systems, and holding companies accountable. Only then can we make a real difference in combating plastic pollution and safeguarding our planet for future generations. Number 4. New York City real estate. Imagine you're a hopeful renter, scouring real estate websites in search of your perfect New York City apartment. You stumble upon a listing that seems like a dream come true. An ideal location, spacious rooms, and all the amenities you desire. Excitement builds as you envision yourself living in this idyllic space. You reach out to the listed agent and eagerly request to see the apartment. Little do you know, you're about to be sucked into a world of manipulation. Instead of meeting you at the address mentioned in the listing, the agent slyly redirects you to a nearby street corner, claiming that the apartment you were interested in has just been snatched up by another lucky individual. But fear not, for the agent promises an array of alternative options to consider. This tactic, known as the bait and switch, is a common ploy used by real estate brokers in New York City. Their aim? To entice someone with an enticing apartment listing, only to abruptly withdraw it and present them with alternatives that fall far short of their expectations. It's a game of smoke and mirrors, leaving the prospective renter feeling disheartened and manipulated. The bait and switch schemes thrives in this cutthroat market for a couple of reasons. First, rental websites often turn a blind eye to the legitimacy of listings, allowing agents to post whatever they please, regardless of their authenticity. Second, the real estate industry lacks robust oversight. leaving room for unscrupulous agents to exploit loopholes and engage in deceptive practices. In some cases, these agents go to extraordinary lengths to deceive unsuspecting renters. They may utilize stock photos of luxurious New York City buildings or even resort to using images of opulent hotels in far-flung corners of the world, creating a false sense of grandeur that bears no resemblance to reality. While they are reputable professionals in the real estate industry, their services often come at a significant cost. In a highly competitive market like New York City, where brokers fiercely fight for clients, some resort to unethical tactics. As we await changes to establish fairer practices in the New York real estate industry, renters need to remain vigilant and protect themselves from these scams. Stay informed, ask questions, and trust your instincts. Remember the old saying, if it's too good to be true, it probably is. Number 3. Big oil and recycling. And we're back to plastics once again. In an era consumed by environmental concerns, recycling emerged as a beacon of hope, promising a sustainable solution to the pollution crisis. Yet, behind this facade of eco-consciousness, Big Oil orchestrated a grand deception, skillfully misleading the public into believing that plastic would be efficiently recycled. With growing awareness of plastic's environmental impact, the oil companies capitalized on public concern by shifting blame onto consumers. They portrayed recycling as the ultimate solution, obscuring their own role in the excessive production of single-use plastics. By redirecting attention, they evaded accountability while ensuring a continued demand for their products. The recycling symbol, with its distinctive triangular arrows, became an emblem of environmental responsibility. Yet, this symbol was placed on a majority of plastic products, regardless of their recyclability. Oil companies, in cahoots with plastic manufacturers, manipulated the public's trust, leading them to believe that their plastics were being effectively repurposed when, in reality, most ended up in landfills or incinerators. To maintain the illusion, Big Oil invested in a select few recycling facilities, publicizing them as the solution to our plastic waste woes. However, these facilities operated well below their claimed capacity because they were simply unable to process the vast amount of plastic generated. The truth is that the majority of plastic waste never made it to them at all. The investment in inadequate recycling infrastructure served as a distracting facade, and nothing more. The manipulation extended beyond public perception and infiltrated the political landscape. Through intense lobbying efforts and campaign contributions, the oil companies shaped legislation and regulations in their favor, effectively stifling meaningful progress in plastic recycling. By exerting their influence, they perpetuated the notion that recycling was the answer, diverting attention from the need to reduce plastic production at its source. To further deceive the public, they promoted alternative plastic disposal methods under the guise of sustainability. Concepts such as waste-to-energy incineration and plastic-to-fuel technologies were presented as eco-friendly alternatives. But in reality, these practices pose significant environmental and health risks. By offering these fake solutions, they perpetuated the illusion of responsible plastic management while profiting from the status quo. The plastic recycling lies orchestrated by these companies has had severe consequences for our environment. Landfills overflow with non-recyclable plastics, contributing to soil and water contamination. Incineration releases toxic pollutants into the air, endangering human health and exacerbating climate change. Marine ecosystems suffer from the staggering amount of plastic waste that finds its way into oceans and threatens marine life. The impact of this deception extends far and wide, leaving a trail of environmental devastation in its wake. It's crucial that we unveil these deceptive tactics, hold these companies accountable, and shift the focus towards reducing plastic production. Only through transparency and collective action can we break free and forge a sustainable future. Governments, organizations, and individuals must work together to expose the truth, demand responsible practices from corporations, and adopt a circular approach that minimizes plastic waste and embraces genuine recycling efforts. Big Oil's deceptive misdirection on plastic recycling has robbed the public of genuine environmental progress. It's time to dismantle this system, hold those responsible accountable, and prioritize sustainable solutions that address the root causes of plastic pollution. By doing so, we can reclaim our environment, protect future generations, and build a world where plastic truly finds its place. Number 2. Theranos fraud. Elizabeth Holmes and the Theranos scandal shook the medical world. Let's delve into the lies spun by Holmes, the mastermind behind this fraudulent scheme. At the age of 19, Holmes founded Theranos with the ambition of revolutionizing blood testing. She claimed that her company had developed groundbreaking technology capable of performing a wide range of blood tests using just a few drops of blood. It seemed like a game changer, promising faster, easier, and more affordable testing options for patients. With her charismatic persona and a knack for captivating the audience, Holmes painted a rosy picture of the future. She declared that Theranos' revolutionary device, named Edison, was capable of running over 200 tests, detecting everything from cholesterol levels to cancer markers. The potential impact on healthcare was staggering, and investors were eager to jump on board. However, the truth was far from what Holmes portrayed. Whistleblowers and investigative journalists uncovered a shocking reality. It turned out that Theranos' technology was deeply flawed. The majority of the tests advertised by Holmes couldn't be performed accurately or reliably on the Edison machine. Patients received incorrect diagnoses, leading to potentially harmful consequences. But Holmes didn't stop at deceiving patients. She also misled investors, exaggerating Theranos' financial prospects and falsely claiming substantial partnerships, including alleged collaborations with the US military. These fabrications lured prominent figures to invest significant amounts of money, only to see their investments crumble before their eyes. For the full story on Elizabeth Holmes' incredible fraud, be sure to click here. Number 1. Volkswagen clean emissions. In December 2015, the world was rocked by a scandal that sent shockwaves through the automotive industry. The German car manufacturer Volkswagen found itself entangled in something that forever tarnished its reputation. The scandal, aptly named the diesel tube, revealed a shocking truth. Volkswagen had been playing a dirty game with emission tests, and they got caught red-handed. The revelation came when the Environmental Protection Agency made a discovery. It turned out that many of the VW cars being sold in America were equipped with a sneaky little secret: a defeat device. This software embedded in the diesel engines possessed the ability to detect when the cars were undergoing emissions tests. Once detected, the software sprang into action, altering the performance of the engines to manipulate the test results. In other words, it was a crafty trick that made the cars appear far more eco-friendly than they actually were. Volkswagen had gone to great lengths to market its diesel cars in the United States, proudly boasting about their low emissions and fuel efficiency. Little did the public know it was all a grand illusion, a cloud of smoke and mirrors. The EPA's investigation uncovered approximately 482,000 affected cars in the US alone. The list included popular models like the VW Jetta, Beetle, Golf, and Passat, as well as the luxurious Audi A3, all manufactured by Volkswagen. But the plot thickened as the scandal soon crossed international borders. Volkswagen admitted that a staggering 11 million cars worldwide, with 8 million in Europe alone, were equipped with this insidious defeat device. The sophisticated nature of this device was truly mind-boggling. While exact details remain somewhat sketchy, the EPA shed some light on its inner workings. The engines were equipped with computer software that sensed test scenarios. It monitored various parameters such as speed, engine operation, air pressure, and even the position of the steering wheel. Whenever the cars were subjected to controlled laboratory conditions, the device triggered a safety mode that limited the engine's power and performance, artificially reducing emissions. However, once the car hit the open road, they operated outside this test mode, emitting pollutants up to 40 times above the allowable limit in the United States. The fallout from the scandal was swift and severe. Top executives were forced to face the music with the resignation of Martin Winterkorn, Volkswagen's CEO at the time. The company's credibility was shattered and the trust of customers and the public had been irrevocably broken. Matthias Müller, the former head of Porsche, stepped in as the new CEO, vowing to regain the public's trust in the Volkswagen Group. The financial consequences of the scandal were staggering as well. Volkswagen faced hefty fines from the EPA, potentially amounting to $37,500 for each non-compliant vehicle, with a maximum total fine of around $18 billion. The company set aside 6.7 billion euros to cover the costs of recalls and legal actions. Share prices plummeted and the company posted its first quarterly loss in 15 years. As the news spread, other countries joined the investigation. The UK, Italy, France, South Korea, Canada, and Germany opened probes into Volkswagen's activities. The legitimacy of the company's emissions testing was called into question worldwide, leaving politicians, regulators, and environmental groups demanding answers. As investigations continued, it was clear that a chain of command within Volkswagen had approved the installation of cheating devices in their engines. The Volkswagen scandal will forever be remembered as a tale of corporate deception with far-reaching consequences. It shattered the trust of a brand and cast a long shadow over the automotive industry as a whole. Click to watch one of these next videos. Let us know in the comment section who you trust more, corporations or governments.